threats that have been made by some people in the United States against Julian Assange.
Okay, well, we've got a web question that's come in
all
on
of the
this
rights
subject.
of being an Australian citizen.
While you're talking, we've got a web question on this subject. It comes from Colleen Enchelmar in Toowong, Queensland, to Craig Emerson. Has the government considered that Julian Assange may become the David Hicks of the Gillard government if he is extradited to the United States or held in a Swedish jail?
Well, let's again look at this question methodically. The issue about a Swedish jail and those issues are matters between Mr Assange, the Swedish authorities, that are unrelated to the whole WikiLeaks issue. Now, some might hatch a conspiracy theory. They're perfectly entitled to hatch a conspiracy theory about it. But this is not about extraditing Mr Assange to the United States. This is a question as to whether he has or not a case to answer under Swedish law for a number of unrelated offences. I am not aware of, and would not be aware of, any attempts to extradite Mr Assange to the United States. So I don't see how the Gillard government would be embroiled in a non-existent effort to extradite Mr Assange to the United States.
Okay, can I, just before you... just make a comment.
There's a government minister, he's not aware of a grand jury sitting in Virginia that is trying to cook up a charge against Julian Assange so that he can be extradited to the United States. And you're not aware of that?
I am not aware of any moves to extradite Mr Assange from the United Kingdom to the United States.
The whole threat of Julian Assange going to Sweden is about the prospect of him being extradited to the United States.
So that
has been made clear in this hearing in London, and that's what this grand jury meeting in secret is about, to cook up a charge under which Julian Assange can be prosecuted and extradited.
Who has made this clear? You've made a statement. You said this has been made
by Jeffrey Robertson QC in the hearing.
Well, and would he be defending Julian Assange? I imagine so.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's just hear from him down here from the front row.
This is to John Pilger. In 2010, a mentally handicapped hacker from UK was sent to America on hacking, basically national security charges. It's actually easier for the to transport someone from the United Kingdom to America than it is from Sweden. It's common for defence arguments to come up with stuff like that. What proof do you have that what you're claiming is the defence's strategy is the actual reality, that that's what they're trying to do?
I think you're referring to Gary McKinnon, and he hasn't been extradited, actually. There's been a long, if I have this correct, there's been a long court struggle over this. There is a very one-sided extradition treaty between the US and the UK. You can be extradited from the UK virtually on the basis of hearsay. The other way, you can't. But
doesn't that goes to the point? That goes to the point of the
why go through Sweden?
That goes to the point of the question, really, which is
it's easier to do.
I was about to extend that.
The main defence argument is about avoiding going to Sweden when it's easier to get. Well, it's easier to get extradited from Britain.
Take a look at the RIAA cases in Sweden. They're trying to extradite people and it's not working.
He could be extradited from Australia. He could be extradited anywhere to the United States if those extradition proceedings were to succeed. But the case in question, John, to say the case in question is about Sweden from the UK.
Hang on for 1 second.
But we'll send him to Sweden, where it's harder to extradite. This is a very convoluted conspiracy
proceeding about Sweden at the moment. Yes, there is a real danger that he could be extradited from the UK, and that has been openly discussed by his lawyers and certainly by him. There is a danger that he could be extradited from any country to the United States if the United States said, we are about to prosecute, or we wish to prosecute this person, we have prima facie evidence, so on and so forth. Yes, I'm not quite sure your point is.
I'm saying I completely agree with that argument.
It's especially dangerous from Sweden at the moment.
How is it especially dangerous when they can't take the copyright people? I mean, it's harder for them to deal with the copyright.
Okay. I think we actually have dealt with that question now. I'm going to move on because there are other aspects of